Hey guys, what is up? Welcome back to another episode of VGC Prep. Again, I'm sorry that we're not getting a full week of episodes out. I'm not feeling so good, so it's kind of hard for me to keep talking. In fact, I was gonna do another one, but then I just got hit by a wave of nausea, and I just figured I'll do this episode, and then next week we'll hopefully have a better week. So today's episode is a PDL battle against Liquid Ice. In fact, this is actually winding down the end of the season. Right now, this episode's in the middle of round 13, which is the last round. I only have 2 more battles left to do. One of which I don't know. It's been a great season. We had a lot of people drop, but somehow we just kept the numbers going, which is good, up until the very end where we had to kick someone out, but we ended up not replacing them simply because it was too close to the end to really make a difference, so it wasn't really worth it. Right now, at this current time of this recording, which is Tuesday 9/29, I sit in 8th place, not in the playoffs, with 15 wins, 9 losses, 20 points, 22 differential, and 11 matches done. Like I said, I only had 2 more matches left. So there is a good chance of us getting into the playoffs. I don't know if I really want to, mainly because I like having fun. It's not really competitive for me anymore. So let's just get into this battle. So Liquid Ice's team was Charizard X, Electros, Whimsicott, Honchkrow, Gastrodon, and Scizor. Now, I saw the Scizor, and I know for a fact that he has a very small chance of KOing my Cresselia, but he has to be banded for it. So I figured Cresselia was probably going to be the best. I'd probably brought either Aromatisse. No, I definitely brought Aromatisse because I like bringing 2 Trick Room setters per match, just in case of the matchups. And since I already had Rhydon with Eviolite, there's no reason in bringing Porygon too. So I definitely brought Aromatisse. I don't know who the 6th Pokemon was. I never used it in these battles, so it doesn't really matter. Plus, this was kind of a while ago. So, looking at his team, I figured Cresselia was obviously going to be my best setup. I mean, he does have the Scizor, he does have the Honchkrow. So, in hindsight, Aromatisse might have actually been a better setup, specifically because it can block Whimsicott. It's only weak to Scizor, whereas Cresselia is weak to Honchkrow as well. But I decided to go for Cresselia because Cresselia is just super bulky. Now this is from his perspective, so it will be on the top side of the screen. I also started off with Mega Mawile. Why Mega Mawile? Because I thought he'd start off with either Scizor or Honchkrow, and or Whimsicott. And what that does is it kind of puts him in a position where he's like, I'm kind of scared of that Mawile. I don't want to screw around with this Cresselia. Plus, if they ended up wanting to screw around with the Cresselia, I have the -1 on them. So that's what I went for. He started off with Honchkrow and Whimsicott, which was, again, Aromatisse would have been better here because it can block the Encore, can block the Taunt. It's not weak to Honchkrow. So it's just kind of a bit of an issue. Now, he does end up worry seeding my Mawile, which I did not see coming whatsoever. So that takes away my huge power. So I expected the taunt, so I just simply went for an Ice Beam onto the Honchkrow, because I was just like, he's going to taunt me, he's going to waste a turn, it's not going to be that big a deal. I'll kill him this turn with my Iron Head, but he does end up having the Worry Seed, which actually worried me a bit. Now, I didn't ask if he had Focus Sash, so I don't know if that mattered in the long run or not. We'll never know. So what I do here is I bring in my Rhydon because Rhydon has a really good matchup here. He doesn't love getting Giga Drained by a Whimsicott, but he ends up going for the Moonblast, which really doesn't do a lot. Does drop my amazing special attack, but you know, I go for the Iron Head on the Honchkrow. Looks like a weird play, and it is, because there's no reason to go for an Iron Head on a Honchkrow. Play Rough is super effective, and everything in the back of his team is resistant to Iron Head, so Play Rough was my best chance there, especially since I'm technically at -2 without my ability. It's technically like I'm burned, you know. So I end up going for Play Rough just in case it misses. I add in a nice and powerful Rock Slide. Sorry, it's kind of hard for me to talk right now. I'm kind of really nauseous, but I end up taking out both of them that turn, even though I'm at, like, I don't have my ability, you know. So in comes Charizard, who has to be Mega X, and it's like, you know, my Rhydon is going to be really good against Mega X, but then there's the Gastrodon, you know? So it's a huge toss-up as to what I'm going to be able to do here. Now, he goes for Stockpile with Gastrodon, and I'm like, this is not going to be fun. Oh my god, how am I going to beat this thing? You know, how am I going to beat this thing? So I go for the Play Rough onto it, because I'm figuring he's not going to Stockpile, he's just going to take out my Rhydon, right? Wrong. He does Protect and dodges the... Excuse me, I'm not feeling good. Dodges the Drill Run, not great, but whatever. So I bring in my Rotom. Now, I'm actually in a pretty bad position here. My Cresselia's really low, my Rhydon's really low, he's got a Gastrodon. I don't really have a way to beat that Gastrodon outside of my Mawile, but I can't beat the Gastrodon with my Mawile until I, you know, bring out the Mawile. But then I have to take out the Charizard, so I'm in a really bad position. So what I do here is I actually go for Helping Hand onto my Rotom Heat. It seems like a weird play, I know, but I honestly expected him to Dragon Claw my Cresselia and take me out. I guess he predicted the Mawile to come in there, but I go for Volt Switch Helping Hand because I figured it'd do a lot of damage here. I really should have just gone for Volt Switch Trick Room because that would have put me in a position to take out the Charizard, but that's unfortunate how that happened. So it just wasn't a good play for me because I would have been able to get Trick Room up, I think. I mean, he did Scald me there, so I guess it really didn't matter. He did really want to take out that Cresselia there, so long story short, I guess it didn't truly matter, but had I gotten that Trick Room up, I might have been in a better position. Now, he keeps going for Rock Slide, which is kind of an interesting play because not only does it not get boosted by Tough Claws, but maybe he doesn't know it, but I designed my Rotoms to survive non-stab Rock Slides because that's probably the best thing for them. So I'm going to just go for the Volt Switch onto the Charizard. It's really my only play at this point. And I'm going to go for that Play Rough onto the Charizard because, again, I can take the Gastrodon pretty easily on my own. I just cannot, under any circumstances, beat the Charizard alone. So I have to take out the Charizard here. Now I go for a Burn, which is a little cheeky, but really I had no other attacks that I could use in at this point. So it was really my only option. I could go for Overheat, but Overheat's not going to really be doing too much. I've Hidden Power Ice, but again, it's not really going to be doing too much. So I figured the Burn will kind of help maximize how much damage my Mawile does. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to actually just protect with my Mawile, get an Overheat off, because I don't want to take an extra damage. I'm figuring Overheat will do a decent amount of damage, especially since I'm Life Orb, and put it in somewhat of a burn range. It doesn't, which is unfortunate because obviously he's Water type, and why did I think that would happen? But I figured, you know, I'm like 204 special attack, I have Modest Nature, I have a Life Orb, I figured Overheat would do a sizable chunk. Obviously it didn't. But now, you know, he's gonna go for Recover, and I'm just like, you know what, that's fine. I can probably take one more Scald as long as he doesn't burn me, so I'm just gonna go for that Play Rough, and we're gonna hope that it kills him. It doesn't. It gets kind of close, so I'm thinking, okay, he's gonna either Recover or attack. I was really gonna go for that Protect, but I figured I have the time. So now I'm really. He has 1 HP. Is he gonna go for the Recover? I said I couldn't risk it. I had to go for Protect, because he outspeeds me. He can kill me, so I have to go for this Protect. And unfortunately, he slipped up a little bit there, because if he had gone for the Recover, I mean, okay, so it's actually it was quite the 50-50 there, because if he went for the Recover, if I didn't miss a Play Rough, I would have killed him. If he went for the Scald, he would have killed me. So if I protected, he lost. If he recovered, he lost. So it was more of a, is Ryan ballsy enough to attack, or is he going to be defensive? So that was really the 50-50 there. So regardless of what happened there, it was just, I'd say that play was pure luck, because there's so many variables going into that one move different could have completely changed that outcome. So that's that battle. Now I'm going to type in the second battle, which is going to be TW9WWWWWWW2Q, and then QZL, QZZZLW. Okay, there we go. So this is going to be the second battle. And again, you know, I liked the 4 that I brought, but because of the Hunch Girl, I wasn't too happy with the Mawile. Doesn't sound like it makes sense at all, but it just, to me, the Mawile didn't do much, especially since the Rhyperior hits his team, like pretty much his entire team, super effectively, except for the Gastrodon, the Scizor, and the Electros, so half his team, not entire. But either way, I'm going to start off with Cresselia and Rhyperior. Again, I really oh, come on. Doing recordings over here. I really should have brought Aromatisse. Aromatisse was best. I can handle the Scizor. It's only going to go for Bullet Punch, you know. So seeing this lead, I'm just going to get straight out of there with my Cresselia. I have no reason to stand. I'm going to switch in my Rotom because I'm expecting a Bug Bite to come off. Now, Night Slash does a hell of a lot of damage. It does crit, but I was right, he does Bug Bite, but he Bug Bites into the Rhydon, which is kind of interesting. So I go for the Rock Slide. Now I'm thinking Rock Slide is just going to take out this Hunch Girl. No biggie, no deal whatsoever. It does just straight up kill him, which is beautiful. But now I have a Rotom that's pretty low, and in comes the Gastrodon, and I'm like, oh god, this is not good. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to Protect, because he's probably just going to Scald into my Rhyperior. He's probably just going to Bullet Punch, do all that stuff. I go for the Volt Switch, completely forgetting that I have Rhydon on the field. So it does nothing, and we give him a free stockpile. Basically what I was doing was, I was expecting his Scizor to switch out to eat up the Overheat. I was hoping he'd switch out into like Charizard. But I just... man, I just didn't even think about my Lightning Rod. Now he's going to Protect here with the Scizor, as I do go for the Overheat. So he's getting that good. He is going to go for the Scald. Now, I was hoping he'd go for the Rhydon. He doesn't. He actually goes for the Rotom here. But the good news about my Mawile is I do run Fire Fang, so I'm not down for the count just yet. Now, Scizor is definitely a -1. We know for sure that he's not Choice Banded now, because he's been switching up moves. So I don't have to worry about him KOing my Cresselia. So I'm just going to kind of do what I can. I'm going to Protect here. Whew, excuse me. Because I really want to get Trick Room up. He is going to go for that Bug Bite. Again, it's not going to take me out. Not at all. And since he can't use my Citrus Berry, he doesn't get to use it. Since he's at full health. So I do get that Trick Room up. Now, my Mawile is faster than the Gastrodon. So I'm just going to get that Fire Fang off. He does not expect this coming whatsoever, so he just goes straight down to that. Obviously, I mean, the crit did not matter whatsoever in that choice. 4 times super effective from a Mawile. It's going to kill you. Now, he does get the Scald off. It's gonna do about a 3-4 hit KO. I do go for Psychic because, you know, a little chip damage can't hurt here and there. Now that I'm looking at it, I was going to say he might be a Assault Vest because he took a lot of damage from that, but no, I was wrong here. So in comes Charizard, and I'm actually in a pretty odd position. Do I go for the Charizard or do I go for the Gastrodon? I'm going to go for the Gastrodon. You may think to yourself, why? The reason is because we know he has Protect from last game, and he knows that he's a threat to my team. But if I misplay here, I get rid of a Gastrodon, and then I lose my Mawile, and that to you might seem trading a Mawile for a Gastrodon. But then you have to think, who do I have in the back? I have a near full HP Rhydon, and his Charizard does not have any way to KO that Rhydon, and I have Drill Run. So, long story short, I had no reason to attack that Charizard that turn, because even if I lost my Mawile, the only way I could win, I had my win condition in the back already with Rhydon, so I really had to get rid of that Gastrodon in order to win, and that's what I did. So thank you guys so much for watching. I really do appreciate it, and I hope to see you guys in the next episode. Peace.